Hi friends, it's me, host Eric. It's time for Nightly Musings. And tonight's Nightly Musings are about confidence, how one carries oneself, the human relationship with authority and status, things like that. So, we're lucky people, those of us who live in America or in the enlightened West, so to speak, live in an individualist culture that focuses on egalitarian values. When somebody like Erin Andrews, or whatever her name is, that sports lady, was such a bitch to those people who were working like a regular job, people came down on her like a ton of bricks because she played that "do you know who I am" shit like that, and people hate that. You're supposed to be gracious in your success if you're successful like that. But beyond that, you're supposed to understand that you're lucky and that others have shit worse and not expect them to have it even worse because you're lucky, but rather, be err on the side of the other direction. So, understandably, people don't like that shit. But there is definitely a reality to hierarchical vectors that are hugely important in human behavior. And I'm going to talk about a little bit more about what that means in a second. People look for answers, or reassurance, satisfaction, pleasure, some means of being okay. And being okay in the moment, being okay in general, being on the okay path. There's a battle ongoing in each human being to deal with the reality that, among other things, they are fundamentally alone. Susanna shared a video of a song called Fundamentally Lonely, or something like that. And his message was, be nice, because we're each alone, we're each fundamentally lonely, and sometimes that comes out in this or that way. I don't think that's exactly right. I mean, we're each fundamentally vulnerable. It's what we are more than anything else. We're metaphysically and physically vulnerable, and we know it. And there's no getting around it. No matter how tough you are, or badass, or pimpin', or whatever, there's no getting around that you're fundamentally vulnerable. That you are in a blessed moment in which your body's still working fine, your mind's still working fine, and things going well for a moment. If you're in that moment, it's so finite, so transient. For those of us who have SI in the fourth slot, that's where the existential terror comes from. Here I am in this great moment where stuff's going on around me. Interesting things are happening. People have convinced me over time to try to put away the 4 more. I am right on the border of 4 and 3. I don't like I don't like distinctions between people on importance grounds like that, or well, it's okay for him to do it, but not for me to do it. I like it to be super fair, you know. I don't like entitlements that others don't get in general. I mean, I don't like them abstractly. I love getting away with shit that people can't get away with, and or getting special treatment, and or whatever. I love it. I've always loved it. And it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's how it is. And I'm coming to terms with, or having to deal with this difficult situation where you really only have two choices. You either be alpha or you be not alpha. It causes me to change it makes me sad. It makes me sad because a couple of reasons. It makes me sad under the old framework that it's weird. I can't stop thinking of myself as not that, and therefore it's not fair. And forgetting that it's me who's being not fair to old me. What? It's crazy. It's crazy that I think it's not fair for me to succeed. With women particularly, because I've got some old fucked up understanding of things where it's like that in that area you shouldn't have to earn it. You have to earn it everywhere else. I have no problem with that. Why don't you have to earn it there? Oh, because some Swords and Dragons shit. I don't know. Because I hate SE people. It's like I freaking hate jocks from high school. Way back in high school, I hate like football player jock guys who, I fuck that chick, I fucking hate those people. I fucking hate them. What the new reality is, oh, this is a drug that everybody wants to do, including the chicks. But chicks aren't allowed to just do it as they see fit, and it's always tricky business because, who is one of the two people gonna want to lock that shit down? How much? What expectations are there gonna be? It's the same thing as everything else in fucking life. Expectations, obligations, are stems and seeds and stress. But with mating relationships, it's not that simple, because I believe there will come an occasion when I have found the right moment, have established the right person, when I will say, this is the woman I want to be with. And I want to actually live here with me and be my live-in friend, my fun time live-in friend. But I don't want that right now. I am aware that I need to. I've given up the fight against what I should have wanted to do all the time anyway. But I didn't want it because I was scared. I was scared to do it. I was scared that I wouldn't be good about it, wouldn't be good at it, or I wouldn't get it up, or something like that. And that, all these people know what they're doing because they've been reproductively viable their whole lives. And it's a group distinction I was putting myself under. It's ridiculous. Everybody's unique in their experience, in their expectations, what they want, and yet we're all the same in that at the end of the day, if the moment's there and the person's down and you're down, it can be a lot of fun. But you need to be the one who knows what you're doing and where you're going. It's like I'm taking you out, and then you don't have to worry about what my thing is. Like, oh, is he? We're not even gonna talk about any of that shit. It's just, oh, let me get you another drink, whatever. And then you gotta make them feel comfortable and to know that it's safe, that you're not going to judge, that you think they're attractive, that you're not going to expect anything of them. They can trust you not to treat them badly afterwards, so shit like that. Because why? You guys are doing a drug together. It has to be done in pairs. You can't do it by yourself, really. You can do a fucking half-assed version of the drug, but it's not even worth anything. So the tragic thing is there are large segments of the population, not large segments, but there are definitely segments of the population, individuals, especially intuitives. I think this is most likely happening with intuitives, that get locked into a state of non-reproductive activity, non-sexual activity. And they do so because of a number of reasons. But fundamentally, the problem is that, at least between men and women, normal heterosexual relationships, women want a man women want that experience to be driven by the hunger of the man, as it necessarily must be, kind of, because if the man's not hungry, it ain't nothing gonna happen, right? So it's a naturally occurring phenomenon. I've heard Nick describe it as also this tribe leadery thing, where it's like women have a biological imperative to seek the best circumstances for their offspring. They have generations and generations and generations of reinforcement of going for the tribe leader. Like of the asshole, the one who isn't afraid to do what has to be done to protect the woman and the children, and the one who has the most pull due to authority or status or whatever, is naturally going to be the one who has the best chance of having their offspring survive in a cutthroat, pre-civilized world. It's not relevant anymore. I don't need to be an asshole to be a good provider. And yet, entitlement pays off, I think. These are a lot of hypotheses for me. I'm not any sort of play or anything. I just realize that it is March of 2017, and I've successfully enjoyed mutually win-win encounters with a couple of women over the course of 2017. That's an indication that I'm in an odd position to observe the change in the behavior of women towards me, provided I can allow myself to change sufficiently to acknowledge it and to be able to say that it's not don't need to identify with the safest identity in order to be safe. And if anything, it's quite possible to be a lot safer by claiming the identity you want to be than it is to avoid identity clash, which is what I think happens, which I think the alternative is to avoid the clash between identities by being humble, being self-deprecating, providing certain examples of your own areas of failure as a means of assuring others of their comparative value so that they don't feel bad about themselves because they're comparing themselves to you, and for whatever their own reasons are, they're going to frame that comparison in ways that make you look better because they're reinforcing some sort of low self-esteem thing or whatever, or who knows what they're doing. Or maybe you're just right in their niche and you're further along and they're like, fuck, he's super developed in that area or something. I don't know. Regardless, it's an ongoing dance along a tricky line. There's a certain amount of straight up ego gratification shit that's I find really satisfying and willing to indulge in. On the other hand, if you do that too much, you cease to be likable, and you fail to continue to earn the thing that you are thrusting your chest out about. If you get big enough, I think you get distant enough from most of the people who interact with you that you could be perceived purely on the grounds of your media. For me, I feel as though the people that matter I interact with all the time, or at least sometimes, and so they get to actually deal with me and as I actually am, which means I have to improve. I can't continue to be such an asshole all the time, or it would be good to be less of an asshole. We can be less mean, I guess, sometimes. I don't feel like I'm mean. I feel like I'm angry occasionally. I get angry, or at least get pseudo-angry, which is the same thing, more or less. And I have my reasons, but those reasons are whatever they are. This is a rambling musings indeed, I tell you. Most people want answers. They want to find somebody they can trust to be real with and to not judge them, to care about them despite their failings, and to care enough about them to be direct and honest and to provide them infinite second chances. That's what most people want. People aren't understood adequately. Intuitives. They're experiencing their own pain and suffering as they go through the world, and they have been tasked with the societal burden of presenting as happy for FE shit, or presenting as cool or accomplished or successful. Managing your presentation to others, keeping your privacy, or making sure that everybody thinks you're smart, or hiding the fact that you're drunk, or whatever. We are awash in the misery we keep alive with our own shame. Shame helps us keep shit secret. That's a lack of confidence. Secrets are a lack of confidence. Now, not somebody else's secret that they share with you and you've been tasked with keeping it under wraps. Having your own secrets means, why did you want people to know that about you? Whatever it is. Ask yourself that question. FE stuff? If you're going to look bad? FI stuff, it's going to turn someone you love against you. TI stuff, you don't want to reveal inconsistencies, hypocrisies, kind of FE, I guess. It'll destroy your research. If I reveal this database, also destroy my research. TE shit, you're in the middle of accomplishing something with your reputation and you don't want to fuck it up. SE stuff, I don't know how that would work. Anyway, regardless, there are a lot of reasons to keep shit secret. Some of them good, some of them not so good. Some of them harmful, some of them neutral. Not many of them good. Remember, to make a claim on privacy, to prevent others from knowing the truth, is to advocate a situation, a world in which the interest of one or two people knowing something is expressed through them preventing others from knowing it, and the net outcome is two people have access to the information versus everyone having access to the information. So privacy is a metaphysical cock block, and it's bad. It's bad because it represents the fact that the world is not aligned properly with reality. If it were aligned properly with reality, then everything you do that's not actually bad, but you're embarrassed about, would be totally okay, and you wouldn't be embarrassed about it, and you just put it out there, whatever, nobody would care. Because everybody's evaluating things properly. Whereas things you actually did that were bad, such as rights violations and shit, would be completely untolerated, and would be so not. And if you displayed an interest in privacy, that would mean necessarily that you actually have something very much no good that you should be called out on and held to account for. That's how the world ought to be. The reason that we have things like privacy and secrets is because there's a distance between actual moral concerns, ethical concerns, normative concerns, and legal or social concerns. In other words, the law is not correct, it's not aligned with ethics, and society is not correct. It's not valuing the right things to make sure that we have an ethical world in which the individual is prioritized over the comfort of people's sensitivities and or the overall purported well-being of the group. And we make that distinction because we know that someone's definition of what's best for the group is going to be used, and that ultimately is the suppression of some individuals for the benefit of others that they mean. So very rambling and off-topic kind of musings, but there are musings, so it's to be expected. And this one is going to come to a conclusion by saying this. You have to be okay sometimes with taking on a mantle of leadership and positioning yourself as what you are, even if you think it's counter to your egalitarian nature. Ultimately, it's better to give people what they want and allow them to develop through the methodologies that they naturally seek and pursue and engage with than it is to try to force people into an existential framing that they're not yet comfortable in. Even if you believe that to be a better framing, first of all, have some humility and understand that other individuals have their own configurations of existential framings that make the situation unique to them. And the solution that works for you is not necessarily going to work for them at all. So that's part of it. But remember also that people are looking for leadership. They're not looking for some guy to tell them what to do. They're looking for somebody they can actually trust to be honest with them, tell him what he thinks, and including the limits of his own wisdom. I don't position myself as some sort of guru. I position myself as somebody who, almost unique among people you might talk to, will talk to you honestly, directly, and as an equal, provided you're willing to talk to me honestly and directly. Sometimes I get into a lot of combative shit with people because either I or they is not behaving honestly. Sometimes it's me being persnickety and in a mood, and I'm pretending as though it's not, and much more often it's the other person coming in and not being willing to answer questions about what their position is. If you're going to come in and state a position and advocate it, then be willing to withstand scrutiny. So, confidence then. Leadership means conveying to the other a few different things. One, you genuinely mean well and want good to happen to them. That you're not, well, most people are very closely on the lookout for personal interest. They want to make sure you're not serving your own personal interest at their expense. And beyond that, they want to make sure you're not invalidating their own identity in the process of telling them what to do. Well, here's the thing. To be confident and to be comfortable in your own skin, to have attained some measure of how you want shit to be rather than how it is, and to have a future opening up that seems promising, that offers a lot of potentialities and very few constraints. That's my goal. It's kind of where I am right now. I'm feeling pretty good about everything. I feel, as I started saying at the beginning of the video, just up in the mix of shit, which is where I want to be all the time. And I'm very, very thankful to everybody who participates in this with me, and I hope it provides you the whatever it is you're looking for. If you're a dude and you're looking to find ways to get chicks or something, I don't think I have any answers for you at all, because I can't conceive of me faking this. I was not reproductively viable before, and it had to do with my physical appearance and my lack of understanding of the fact that women and men are the same. We both want to do that drug, and you got to let her know that it's cool. It's a simple enough notion, but it wouldn't have made any good. It wouldn't have made any difference if I had known that, if I didn't have a bunch of other shit to lean on to make sure that I remembered this. So deep was the self-reduction to, so complete was the subsuming of my identity beneath a framework that said, that's not part of life that we deal with. We don't get to be engaged with that by critiquing it. And by demonstrating how distinct we are, by going and getting a long-term relationship and respecting women. That's not respecting women. It's disrespecting them. It's insisting they be not like men and not want to have sex, really. That they want you because they're so devoted to you, and this simple physical act that gives people pleasure has all this super extra added meaning to it because you're insecure. And that's it. So, why am I heart drop in my chest when I'd hear about some woman cheating or something. Well, because I got cheated on, and I was insecure, and I knew that if I was rendered single again, I'd have to go try to figure that shit out again, and it's just so scary, and I was so insecure, and you don't fake your way out of that, but what you do is remember the following: the other person's faking it too. They're not confident about what they should do at all. The first time you sit down with a woman that you're considering to try to move on or something is the same as the first time you sit down with any other person. There's a positioning that occurs. Why is it that Liz comes into the room and butts heads with me so much at first? It's because she needed to take me down a notch. She needed to put me in my place a bit. It's a totally understandable impulse. Of course, it was wrong in this instance. It was she who brought hubris to the table. Because, for one thing, I'm 20 years older than she is or something. I have had more experience. It doesn't always work. In this instance, it does. Because not only am I 20 years older, but somehow I got here. I have no idea. I don't credit myself for it, like in the sense of I knew what I was doing. But I accept the metaphysical equity that it has afforded me, and I'm coming to accept that people want me to use it for its prescribed purpose, namely to get what I want. And the reason they want me to use it to get what I want is because they trust in my leadership that I'm not going to, that I'm going to make sure that things are win-win. They're not going to take what I want at the expense of somebody else, but rather that what I want can coordinate with what they want, which is in life, which is what I think a lot of people want in life. Women, men, whatever. What do they want? They want reassurance that they're okay, that everything's going to be okay, that someone's there for them, that there's nothing wrong with them, that whatever problems may exist in the status quo, that they're moving in the right direction, and that things are getting better, and that there's a future that's brighter, that there's a vision perhaps they have in their own head for what their future ought to be that can be realized. And my basic argument is, yes, it can, and it should, and it will. And it's ultimately all about honesty. We fail when we are dishonest with ourselves and others. And when we face up to facts that are challenging to process or challenging to present to others, it may take some time to go through that evolution. But those evolutions will necessarily occur if you are honest. One cannot continue to sit there and look at this thing like, I just did this thing. And you can try to paint it as many different colors you want. It's still that thing. It's still a fucking turd. What are you going to do about it, Eric? You just put that turd there and everyone has to smell it, and it's pretty awful. Well, you've already done everything you need to do. You were honest with yourself about it. You sat there and you looked at your own culpability. You felt the suckiness of it. And it's informed your behavior going forward. It's okay, Eric. You fucked up. Infinite second chances. Fortunately, I've got friends who are willing to put up with a lot of shit from me sometimes, who are kind enough to be interested in a lot of host Eric, I guess, because there's a lot of me around here for sure. So I'm not going to apologize for that anymore, I guess. Not that I really ever have, but I'm not going to apologize within myself to the extent that I can avoid it. And I'm going to know that it's okay to engage others in fun ways that are affirming of each other, and to know that some of the understandings I had going in were not understandings at all. They were insecurities, and they were compensations, justifications. Compensations for what? I don't even know, because, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't have any... There's no reason why I shouldn't be highly confident in this area. I'm at the moment in my life, I'm fully blessed. I'm blessed with waking up from being a drunk to living how I want to live for a little while, and seeing that pay off unbelievably, shockingly, because, I mean, that's one thing that still kind of strikes me as unbelievable. But, and then waking up to the reality that, in the process of reducing myself to not reproductively viable, I internalize all sorts of crazy false shit. All sorts of it. Insane amounts of it. Stuff that just basically said, you can't compete in this area at all. In any way. Even things that are contrary to physical evidence. You will somehow believe, because I don't know why. I'm fucked up in some way, because it doesn't matter how much proof I get. How many women tell me, bah, how many... Okay, well, it's 2017. I've had sex with 2 different beautiful women this year. That's not a lot of women in March, but it's 100% more women, 200% more. I mean, it's just like way more women than I would have thought normally, is by default understanding of myself as being not able to attain that. And both of them were attractive, very attractive. First one was smoking fucking hot, and I thought, well, that's a fluke, because she's a weirdo, and I'm a weirdo, and weirdos are... She's a unique character, and there's not going to be a lot of people like that out there. Well, the second one, she's attractive too. She's lived with me last year too, and basically the reason she didn't continue sleeping with me was because I couldn't handle it. I was like, I was still that guy. It's like, oh, well, what is this? And are you going to sleep with anybody else? And yeah, she's going to sleep with other people. Well, she is. She's got something going on down there. She's got something going on up here. It's fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't want her to move in. I don't want to marry her. She's fun. I want to have fun with her. It's fine. Jesus fucking Christ, Eric. Anyway, you can't will that to be the case. You've got to have the types of success that you and your individual nature are, that allow you to feel genuinely the confidence that makes you think that you deserve what you seek to take. And you have to have enough moral development to not abuse that, and to make sure that nobody ends up doing shit they don't want to do. Because then you're a fucking douchebag. God help me if I ever do anything like that. I don't want to talk to people and shit they don't want to do ever. And I need to understand, and I think we all do, that there's a big difference between that and giving the person the reassurance they wanted to hear. They want to hear to make sure that they can do what they want to do. You know, but well, I really shouldn't. I mean, that means please talk me into this. Tell me some reassuring words so I'll feel more comfortable. It's what, you know, do a little dance for me. No problem, baby. I will help you right out of those clothings. They're beginning to chafe you. I can see it. You're suffering from chafings. And nobody wants you to be chafed. And, you know, that's fine. That's good. If you're not in a stage of reproductive viability at the moment, it means what? You and I are both not having sexual intercourse with anybody right now. No women are at this house for me to have sexual intercourse with. You are in the exact same place, except I think of myself now as reproductively viable, and you don't. But you can't make it otherwise just by thinking it. You have to actually believe it. And for most people, you can't believe it until you attain a certain amount of achievement. So, if you're looking for advice on women, it's this. Number one, go put a handle on some shit. Be a beast at something. Number two, remember, they like the drug too, just as much as you do. They want to be convinced that you know that we're just doing drugs. And or if they're not like that, they're looking to lock shit down, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, provided it's done for the right reasons. Locking shit down should be done because there's a deep, undeniable connection that's distinct from those that you have with others. Now, as an ENTP, I'm going to have a hard time identifying this. But I do believe in the principle that if you're going to settle down with somebody, it should be because they're special. And it's meant to be. I like magic in this shit, so I don't know. In the meantime, I don't know. My prospects are looking good. I have something regularly locking in here. We'll see. And I got something else I'm considering exploring. As I note the change in approach to me by women in the real world, so somewhere in the vicinity of Southern California on Facebook, people that I actually know or know a friend of a friend and stuff like that. They're dealing with me differently. They just are. And I'm happy about that. I have to remember that I'm happy about that and not dislike the unfairness. I feel for old Eric. When I'm making this video, I feel bad for the people who aren't having sex with someone right now or don't feel themselves likely to have sex anytime soon because they're in that intuitive spot where you're sitting there fucking intuiting instead of doing with your penis. You got SE, but yeah. It doesn't work. You don't understand it through metaphysics. So it's like I don't know how to fucking segue into this shit. Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? I didn't know what this all means. You just gotta let yourself. You gotta let yourself do what you want. You gotta let yourself be greedy and self-serving. And until it's actually greedy and self-serving, then don't do that. In other words, don't exploit. Take from the woman what she wants to give to you. And give her the words she wants to hear to feel good and comfortable and safe in your hands, so to speak. That's what it is. Every woman is potentially an option, presumably, and they know it too. That's the thing. They know they are. And you can just, they may not be, that doesn't mean they're down. It means they know they could be down. They got that dirty slut part of them, just like everybody does. That, well, I could go back over there in the public bathroom and bend over and have you fuck me. It's in the back of their mind. The thing is, most of them probably haven't given into that all that often. But guess what, guys? They've given into it way more than they tell you, or me, or any other guy. It's like, because there are people like Taylor out in the world who, he's got no problem fucking your girlfriend. Got no problem at all. Historically, I would say, fuck that guy, he's the enemy. Now I understand. He's the only one who actually respects women. They're autonomous beings. They're not your girlfriend. If you and a woman have a relationship in which you have fidelity as part of the deal, if it's not something the woman and you take seriously because of your genuine conviction that it's the right person, if it's something you do out of fear, if it's something you do out of a sense of guilt or obligation, it's not a good thing. I believe that it's bad to cheat. And I believe that it's bad to be in a bad relationship. And I believe the two almost never coincide. Almost never do they not coincide. Now, I'll tell you this much. It would be, in fact, very evil to take someone who's in a happy relationship and wait for them to be super drunk and use some sort of alpha status or whatever to try to get that person to do what they don't really want to do and end up talking them into sleeping with you or something, and then that ruins their marriage and their family and shit like that. That scenario is a possible one, but highly, highly unlikely. And the reason is, for anybody who's serious about a relationship, they should never put themselves in those kind of situations. And if they do regularly, it means they're not serious about the relationship. Regardless, it can't be our responsibility to consider whether or not her relationship is bad enough to justify her cheating. We have to afford her sufficient respect to assume it is. So, I don't know. That's life in the big city. I'd rather be on this side of the train tracks. Have a good evening. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese and be nice to one another. Be kind. Win-win situations for everybody, please. Would be nice, ideally. Not that it'd be nice for me. It'd just be a nice reality for everyone. If we were all nice to each other and kind and wanted each other to be happy after everything happens, whatever happens.